My insanity, given an insane world, is paradoxically a facing of reality, and this is sane. I refuse to close my eyes and ears. Philip K. Dick, The Exegesis of Philip K. Dick. Good evening, everybody. It's been a long couple weeks, but they're good. They're all good. I was going to do a interview today with the State of Anarchy, but things just didn't pan out, so I'm gonna do this. Now, I'm not gonna read the full exegesis that was published. I'll probably skim through it, just kind of focus on a few things, and I might do a little bit continuation. But there's a lot of, remember that if you were there watching part 1 of the Exegesis of Philip K. Dick, that the 1,000 published page manuscript was like a tenth at least of the work that Philip K. Dick had, and so I mean there's still 9,000 pages out there. It's gonna be crazy. Yeah, this might be like I mean, if we could get through 100 page, like if there's 10,000 pages worth of material, and each of these parts can do like 100 pages, that's still good. We may have like 100 part, or maybe even 1,000 part series on this alone, and I doubt we're gonna do 100 pages per part, so it's more like 10-20 pages per part. Oh man, it's really getting warm in here. A little space heater, jacket, and a wool blanket will work wonders in keeping things nice and toasty. Hi Kathy, and just seeing all the things you guys were chatting, you and Myar earlier. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Yeah. Now it'll get cold. All right. So, I guess I'll just do my intro. Oh, before I start, me and my wife, like we ran out of shows to watch. We were watching. I mean, that's kind of one of the things that we like to do during the weekday when there's not much to do, and we live kind of out in the middle of nowhere. We don't really go out, but we watch a lot of shows. So, I mean, The Good Place is one of them. We still watch The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead. You know, I'm not a fan of it, but it's like we put in the time. You know, we just gotta keep watching and see where it goes. We watched The Witcher. That was on Netflix, and now we binge watched the first full season of the Cobra Kai, on which you can just do for free for 1 month. And I think you could do it for multiple accounts, because you could just create new accounts, just keep doing that. It's just kind of like AOL. And anyways, it took us 2 days to binge watch entire season 1. I think we just got done with three episodes today, and we'll see of season 2. And I think they have a 3rd season coming in April 2020. But anyways, that was good. I like The Witcher as well. Let's see. Kathy B. Okay, we bonded. We bonded. Oh, that's awesome. I know. I was actually, before I started, I saw that. It just gave me a smile. It's good. I like it. Okay. So I'll go with the usual startup. Okay. Donations, I work with full disclosure and transparency, which is why I want donations via cryptocurrency, so you can see how much I receive via the address without me having disclosed it. However, since I've received $0 via cryptocurrency, since I've had it up for over, oops, I should get rid of that, edit that, 19 months, I've decided to add a PayPal address. Now you can always add donate via Google Super Chat, but they take a good chunk of it. PayPal got me better, and of course the Bitcoin or Vertcoin is also better, but then that's just a lot more work on your part. You can always check on how much that I've received here by looking at the Blockchain Explorer, and you can see nope, this is actually from me, from my Patreon, when I ended it to give to Susie Dawson when she needed it. And the Vertcoin Explorer, you can check that there's been no donations to that address as of yet. 19 months. I want to be, I don't want to be, but I'll probably be the person with the longest running YouTube channel that's wanted cryptocurrency donations that never got one. It might be a record, folks, but anyways, if you actually watch this on LBRY, you can actually leave a tip there. Maybe those LBRY coins will be worth something. I don't know. I've never really even looked, see how much things are worth, whether they're Steam coins, Lino coins, or LBRY coins now. But anyways, every little bit will help when I need it. Which will be actually kind of now, but that's right. And anyone can always join. Also join the Flat Earth People Finder Zoom Truth. Get involved, and hey, you don't even have to be Flat Earther. A lot of good stuff there that Greg Flathead Politics has built. Zoom Truth, Zoom meetings. So this link, if whether you're on your smartphone or your computer, you can always click and you can join and be a part of the show, be a part of the conversation, and have any insights. That'd be great. You can also call in, so don't feel afraid. If you want to segue, sometimes I'll be on for an hour. I might get tired and want to talk about something else. 2 hours, 3 hours, you never know. And that's it for my beginning intro. So, also, at the very beginning, first video of the month, I will disclose all donations I've received through cryptocurrency, PayPal, and Google, and just say my thank yous. And that's my intro, I guess. I gotta get better at that. That's like 9.5 minutes. Okay. Now, since this is part 2, I am going to focus on what's published. So this is, and if you watch part 1, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. There's video clips that I play back, so you get introduced to the exegesis of Philip K. Dick. And so Pamela Jackson read everything, I think. And Jonathan Lethem is the one who started it all. Look through the entire work. You can see it's 1,137 pages long. So this is what was transcribed, edited, all read, edited, and compiled to be published. And this is the published work of his work. And there's still 9/10 or even more of the exegesis Philip K. Dick. And all of that is being compiled online at zerbipedia.psu.edu, which you can go online and you can actually sign up. I've actually sent an email to max@kazoorepair.com and asked to be a collaborator and got it. So there's so much stuff there that like I want to spend so much time on it, but I know that it's not about just kind of looking at the fine details yet. It's just kind of looking over everything, and then maybe it'll just kind of all click in. And sometimes I do move a little fast for people, but I guess you can always rewatch it if you want. I think I do try to slow down, but I may have to not. Let me look at my chat before I go. Let's see. I'm supposed to have free Netflix, but Xfinity says I have to pay despite changing my package last month. Kathy B. Cable cell phone internet is incredibly expensive. Yeah, it is. We only have cable. We only have internet now. So we haven't had phone for a long time, and we don't have cable TV. Anything we watch online. And that gets harder because like everyone's online. Everyone online. Every company and corporation are trying to get a piece of that pie. You know. Hey, Mia, or Sister Mia. And yes, we did bond. Unfortunately, it's starting to rain. I have to circle of death, fixing to lose signal, so I have to watch. Oh, at a later time. That sucks. Stay safe. Yep, definitely. There's a lot of storms brewing. I mean, I have to look at the weather. Like right now, it was really windy, and it's like colder than 20 degrees. I think it's going to reach 2 degrees. That'll be the lowest temperature tonight. 2 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah. Actually, Kathy, we don't have many options in almost any area. Even if you live in a city, you don't really have that many good options. There are some options like very that are very good. I think most people get because they don't realize they're not like tech savvy. So they go, what do all these speeds mean? Oh, it's just download speeds. Oh, okay. Which most people just need download speeds anyway, but upload speeds do matter as well. And sometimes these ISPs, internet service providers, they'll have good download speeds, decent, not good, like say 10 megabits per second download, which isn't that good, but it works for most people. And then they'll have like 1 megabit per second upload, which almost, if you're going to do a Skype call, you can barely get. I don't think you even get 1080p on that. Anyways, sorry, I don't know why I go there. All right, here we go. We're gonna go through much of this, and let me see if I can get this over. So yeah, that'll work. Heck, I might even be able to get the chat on here. Let's see if I could get the so let's see, give me a second here. Why don't I have that? That's weird. Anyways, I think I did that on purpose. This is a meeting. Nope, there's nothing. I'll just make sure it's there. 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Where are you at, Kathy, again? Are you in... I keep forgetting. I keep thinking you're in South Dakota, but I know you're not in South Dakota, Kathy. Anyways, just let me know. Okay. Published by Houghton Mifflin Harcourt, 2011. One thing I do really like about doing investigations online, even though I shouldn't focus all my attention on it, which I don't. Southwest Pennsylvania, that's right. Is I could do quick lookups. Now that kind of sucks because sometimes I'm just looking for certain keywords and not looking at the actual big picture. I'm just trying to somehow relate, but if I just read the whole thing, sometimes it's fine, right? I don't have to look up the keywords. I'll get it. Anyways, let's see. Summary. This is, I think, by Eric Davis. Preserved in type and handwritten notes and journal entries, letters, and story sketches, Philip K. Dick's Exegesis is the magnificent and imaginative final work of an author who dedicated his life to questioning the nature of reality and perception, the malleability of space and time, and the relationship between the human and the divine. The Exegesis of Philip K. Dick will make this tantalizing work available to the public for the first time in an internet-nated 2-volume abridgment, edited and introduced by Pamela Jackson and Jonathan Latham. This will be the definitive presentation of Dick's brilliant and epic final work. And here's a quote. Tomorrow morning, he decided, I'll begin clearing away the sand of 50,000 centuries from my first vegetable garden. That's the initial step. From Philip K. Dick, the three stigmata of Palmer Eldritch. What best can I do? Exactly what I've done. My voice for the voiceless. Now, I think for people who are fans of his work, like, hey Bob, how's it going? Like I like his. I need to read more of his work. I've been reading some of it, but not all of it. And it's good stuff. The way he writes is it's good. It flows. Like I can read it, and you know how sometimes when you read a book and you're just like, man, this just drags on. No, you don't get any of that. It just drags on. No, like every part of the story flows well, and I think that carries over to his to the movies. Good. I mean, even though the movies may not be faithful to his actual his writing, his work, it's amazing now how many movies that are made from Philip K. Dick's writings, and how a lot of them may even be influenced by him. But and a lot of the stuff that so a lot of fans were probably that reads a lot of his books and knew him through that way, probably look at this stuff, the exegesis Philip K. Dick, is something, a little bit extra that they don't care about, because it's not something that they're looking for. It doesn't have a story to it, even though there is a story to it. It's the oldest probably story that you can find. It just has a new it just has a new telling from, I guess, the 70s and 80s when he wrote most of the exegesis stuff. So I mean, even then, like, I'm surprised. Like, I'm watching Cobra Kai and hey Captain Will, and I mean, 70, that's almost 40 years, right? 50 years. Yeah, around 40 to 50 years. It's half a century. It's a long time. And we're seeing a lot of stuff now, and I don't think there's going to be there's probably a lot of good writers out there, but writers that are going to be like Philip K. Dick, they're probably, it's going to be few and far between. And so we're looking back, and I mean, just look at the trash, I guess, of writing that you see in most of the movies today. It's horrible. Even in some TV shows, it's horrible. And it's like, what happened to all the creative geniuses out there? It's like, oh, these people who are high up there, I guess, go, oh, we got this. We understand stories. We don't need to rely on people's work. We'll just create our own. It's just horrible. So we got a creative genius. A lot of people are have recognized, are recognizing now, and voila, he had left a treasure trove of work that he was trying to figure out, and it wasn't to like impress people. It was actually to get people to take his work seriously. But he was a little bit, I think, a little afraid to show it. Anyways, that's all in part one. So we're gonna go on, and I'm gonna just kind of, yeah, it's not gonna be very entertaining. You're not gonna I may not say a couple of things. I may mumble a lot. I may just start reading and just mumble a few passages, and I'm gonna focus on it, and I'm gonna just kind of say something. That's it. This is kind of be like, if you thought my shows were boring before, this might even be taking it to a new level. So, what would be great would be to have people on and get to a point where, like, we're each reading on our own, going to a certain section and go, okay, hey, look, this right here, this is awesome, or mind-blowing, or Sorry, I ate something bad today, so I've got some burpage problems. So if I burp, I'm sorry. Um, it's I don't know. Um, well, it just makes it a little bit easier, just to work in collaboration. But people are gonna read this stuff, and I think only a few who really want to dive in and see if there's anything great to be gleaned from it. And I think there's plenty are going to be watching. So let's see what we can find. And this is a little bit slower than I would usually go because, one, I've got a camera in front of my face, so it's kind of hard to see the thing. Plus, it's in big font, so you guys can actually see it. And I'll probably be stopping a lot, so that's it. And yeah, Kathy, man, I almost don't want to start going off a segue already. I didn't even start yet, but yeah, let's not. I'll leave it for later. There's so much to talk about. The beautiful and imperishable comes into existence due to suffering. And I think this isn't even the start. This is just the introduction. So let me just read. It's about suffering. So, like that, I think that's kind of a lot of the thoughts of many people actually who question is that, especially if you look at the Buddhist philosophy, maybe philosophy, the Buddhist ideal that the world is suffering, and if you think about just the nature, if we took humans out of the equation and we just look at nature, is there suffering within nature? And yes, there is. Now you add mankind to it, humankind to it, and is there suffering more or less? There's more. So by itself, the world we live in was created to have suffering. And then you add in humans to it, and that suffering just starts to expand a lot more. And then you kind of want to isolate it and break it down. It's like, what is it that causes the most suffering between humans? Is it individuals that cause suffering? I mean, can that be differentiated between just the way nature works, and as humans, as part of nature, it's just natural? Or is there more involved to it? Let's take a look at, okay, how do we see suffering? Is suffering, like, right now, how do I suffer? I would say I suffer because, well, the system that I live in requires work for this thing called money, and since I don't work for money, and I don't get money, and the only way you can have things, even if you don't want to own things, but just to be able to use things and have things so you don't just outright die, well, you're not going to have good food, you're not going to be able to have a good home, you're not going to have you're going to end up accruing debt somehow, unless someone takes care of you and stuff like that. So in that way, one suffers from material disparity type of thing. Another thing is social disparity, social suffering. If I go out, and majority of any part of a country, state, city that you live in, there's going to have people that have certain belief systems. Belief systems, what they regard as the government. Belief systems as what they regard for religion, and belief systems in regards to material things. Whether it's the ownership of something, the amount of money that you have, the type of car you drive, the type of home, neighborhood that you live in and you own, or whether you rent, there's that class system. So you have the social order, and now actually worse is what you don't believe. Like, I don't have religion. I don't government. I support the Constitution Bill of Rights, that the government should stay out of the individual sovereignty of the rights of individuals, and it should be sovereign. And so I'm in support of so many things that people don't realize, that they don't know the finer details of. It's like they've been swindled. Like, when I say I'm not religious, but I still follow Jesus or whatever, I follow a lot of these stories and these teachings from all over the place, but I'm not religious, right? I just understand the story in regards to what one should do, what one shouldn't, and especially in regards to other people and other things that surround us, whether it's plants and animals. And if you're going to take a life, understand that it is a life and you're causing suffering, but there's nothing we can do. Just, this life is suffering. But take that suffering in and convert it to something that you can, that suffering isn't in vain. And so it's weird because everyone thinks of me as insane or crazy or dumb or what have you, but I know more about these things than most people do, because I actually spend time to think on it, to focus on it, to learn, to digest, and to let go. How it helps, and not to be just because the majority who don't know anything find consensus in it means that they're right. That doesn't make any sense at all. So yeah, there's social suffering, I guess you could say. Like if no one knew any of those details, it'd be fine, right? You know, it's all small talk. Be nice, jovial, you know, give people, you know, I'm pretty patient, so it's like, go on ahead. You first. How are you doing? How's your day? Small chat, chit chat. I was horrible at small talk, and I hate small talk, but I learned small talk by working at this Bellevue Pacific Tower over in Bellevue, and I was like a security concierge, and I had to kind of learn it, otherwise I'd be like one of those like silent, like passively faced security concierge. It just didn't feel right. And it's not like I could go into deep conversation with everybody I meet for 15-20 seconds anyway. So yeah, anyways. I'm not even anyways, I'm gonna keep going. Okay. Okay. So talking about 74 to 82. I mean, it's funny looking through the exegesis stuff that may not have been published in this work. I don't know, because since I haven't really gone through this and compared it with the exegesis that's on Zebrapedia, I don't know if some of that made it here or what. I'm pretty sure it might have, but then why didn't we, like, would they be in the folder sections or whatnot? So I don't know. But reading some of the stuff that he actually has, some of the exegesis stuff, and sorry, it's kind of hard to like read and talk at the same time, especially if I'm not reading when I'm talking about what I'm actually reading. But the stuff that he's studied as far as religions, mythologies, what have you, even the historical context is just great. Like I would love to see, just as part of the exegesis project, the stuff that he read, because like, where is he getting all that information? I mean, this is before the internet. So it's not like you go to different types of sites and run through a couple of archives. But yeah. And I don't know. I really don't really like introductions too much, but I know how it's just kind of nice to have it. For some people, just get a summary of just kind of what all this stuff is, but I feel like we don't. It shouldn't be needed. I mean, it's like, here it is. This is, and but yeah. I like how, at least that, yes, one thing that I like about Philip K. Dick is that he tries to find a source. That is not just like sources and creators, creative source, whatever, but source in all things. If you're going to be a journalist or detective or heck, anything that you really do, that you actually want to get details of or to know the truth and maybe to have a good grasp of something, you're going to want to go to the source. I mean, remember that game people played, kids play, or you teach your kids to play. It's called Telephone. Basically, one person has a line that they have in their head. They'll write it down. They'll whisper in someone's ear, and it goes all the way around, however many kids. And at the end, the kid says, "Okay, so what did you hear?" And it's gonna change. It's gonna be different from the original statement because some people can't remember it all. Some people add something to it. Some people remove something to it. Things just change. So if you got through 30 kids, and it's going to be different. The output of the last kid of what they say as opposed to the first kid who actually said, wrote down what he said. This can be different. Now imagine that. Not just in the same language, but translating it over different languages, and not just in a span of 10 minutes, but a span of, say, 2,000, 3,000, maybe even up to 10,000 years or whatever. And then, now kids, they're innocent. They just do what you tell them to do most of the time. You've got individuals or groups that want to take advantage of basically what's passed along, keep that, and give back to someone else something that wasn't part of it. So, I mean, you always want to go look at the source, and that's what we should do, even if you are still doubtful. And you still think that any entity, organization, or government is absolutely good, that they would never lie, they would never, whatever, do, like any entity or group is just perfectly good and honest and truthful. Well, again, most of these organizations consist of many different people, many different ideals, and people who follow different religions, ways of life, whether they're honest or not, or they have a motive, good or bad, whatever, behind it. It's like, it's like, it's kind of like racism or prejudice, right? It's like, there's a yellow fella, Asian fella. Asian fella's nice. All Asians are nice. Or that Asian sucks balls. All Asians suck balls. It's like using that concept. No, you really got. That's it's not how that works. But, anyways, going to the source is important, and understanding in another way is kind of getting inside. If you can, that's where it's tough. Like if we heard a story or a retelling of a story of mythology from 2,000 years ago, we try to look at that story from the standpoint of today. And a lot of stories that are being retold are just trying, like, the certain culture of today. But if you can, and if you can find information in the past where it sounds correct or reasonable, you want to understand that story from the context of that period. And then I think it tells a different story than it would be if it was told in today's context or whatever time that you want to kind of think it's in. So much to say about just even this, like this right here. I'm this is like 7 words, and I could say so much. You could, 1,000 words. Just do that. I don't do that. But yeah. See how something like that could just trigger so much thought. And like the Xerox missive, I think if you'll get a lot of information on that. So you're going to see a lot of stuff with the Xerox missive, and this Xerox missive is this 2374 to date. And so someone sent him a Xerox that was unknown, didn't have an address, and I think it was somewhere from somewhere in Europe. I don't want to be mistaken, but anyways, you can find details of kind of what was in that Xerox missive from Tessa Dick. I may replay it back because I think there's going to be a lot of keywords, and I should probably focus on certain keywords that you're going to hear a lot. You're going to hear 2374, and in that context, you're going to hear the Xerox missive. And you're going to hear a lot of other things that are related to a lot of stuff that he wrote. And all of the stuff that he writes came from somewhere, like it was basically flowing through him, the creative juices, whatever you want to call it. And he wanted to analyze, how did I come up with that? Did I come up with that? Or did something just come to me? And so I wrote through it, and now I want to figure it out. What the heck was I writing? Why did it make so much sense? How did it all develop in my mind? Was it already there? Imagine you write a whole book, or not even a whole book. You write like 20 books or book-sized stories, whatever you want to call it, novellas. And you're going, man, I guess I'm imaginative, but it's like, how are all these things just forming? Like, sometimes if you're going to create a story and you want it to be rational, you'll do things like you would do in school, in public school, or creative writing classes or whatever, to help you. It's like, create a character. Well, what is this character? What's his traits? How about you base that character off of someone your father, your mother, your brother, your sister, your son, your daughter, your grandpa, uncle, grandma, whatever, your friend, your a cousin, whatever, or just someone famous that you see and just kind of assumes that persona or something like that, But someone just totally, you come up with it's nothing that It's basically, of all the people that in your life, someone that is an unknown, that doesn't follow any traits that you can understand, you come up with it's like them. It's like, how does that happen? It'd be like telling a bedtime story to your child, and then you realize, Wow, was that 100% original? Like I didn't take it from any other story. It's like, yeah, I don't remember any other stories or books that had that type of plot and problem and solution and characters. And that I should probably write that down. You write it down, and then you realize that someone in like 1934 who doesn't have a big following, just some used bookstore has it, and you read it just by accident. There are no real accidents. And he realized that, hey, it's almost the exact same story. And you're like, so what the heck just happened? Anyways. Let's see. Man, we didn't even get to his work yet. Oh, I thought she was going to say black guy in prison, because that's going to be a keyword. And these keywords are actually going to be helpful if you do some collaboration with the Zerbipedia for the Exegesis 2 type of thing. You're going to see the fish, right? I forgot. Anamnesis, you're going to hear that a lot. The Christian fish. It's like Ictius or whatever. Anamnesis is going to be another keyword. There's going to be so many keywords that you're going to hear that's related to basically, what kind of caused like people think yeah, just so much. It's tough to know where to start. Black Iron Prison, there it is. Yeah, this is getting into more of the details of what's in it, which is good. Now, the thing is that he kept writing, so I don't know if Dick ever figured it out. Because I wonder if he goes like in 1981. I stopped writing my exegesis stuff. I figured it all out. I was like, okay, so what's the last line of the of his stuff? No, I don't think he was meant to figure it out. All right. Couple of publisher stuff. 8,000 plus pages. And all through mail. Wow, that's crazy. I wonder if they ever found like more stuff somehow. Like I don't know. Now they're talking about just basically the entirety and basically what's probably wasn't published. High weirdness. That's good. Yeah, people call him weird. I don't. It's like, yeah, you know what? You guys can. You thought he was crazy or whatever. Yeah, just you wait when you finally become sane and in this insane world, and everyone else thinks you're the insane one. You're gonna see and feel exactly what it's like. Some of you guys probably already know it. Okay. That's good stuff. See, that's like I'd be okay with that. He's talking about a friend would call him. Say Philip K. Dick would call you up like 11 morning and say, "Hey, I just figured out some things about the universe. Come over." Except I'm trying to do that over the internet and not being successful at it, but that's okay. I really don't care about what other people think about him. I don't care about what people diagnose him with either. Sorry, some of this I just really want to skip. All right. Yeah, Cat B. I said that in part one. He did acid twice. First one was good. It was a decent enough hit where he had bad trip, and then the second time, he didn't even get anything out of the second time because it was such a small amount. But yeah, that was it. Okay, so these will have folders and numbers, so it may be similar to that of the Zebrapedia. Although, you know, maybe it'd be interesting if in the Zebrapedia, if they could note that it was actually in the published work. Okay, kind of go over this part. All right, finally, we're into part one, folder 4. 4.1. I actually do want to try. Yeah, I'll look at it later, see if it's some of this work is in Zebrapedia. Because if it is, I might just stay at that. And this is kind of like, Now, 1974 and 1976 is like the early period, so he's just kind of starting to dive down and try to figure it out. Imagine, you know, how much time changes a lot of things. Like, it's barely been a year since I've no longer fall into the globe Earth camp, right? And it's probably been even less than 2 years where I've kind of, you know what, I actually am an anarchist. And so that's, and then as far as like the awakening process from like 2016, man, I mean, that's almost, that's a little less than 4 years, and a lot's changed over 4 years. So the stuff that he has like from 82 is going to be a lot different than just kind of where his thoughts are from 74. So it's like like 8 years. Excuse me. Yeah, Kathy, it is a lot. So the idea here is that there be something beyond us, maybe not higher than us, but in a sense higher, where we're outside of time, and we see time flow as in a very one-way road. You can only go forward. You have to follow the speed limit. You can't go faster, you can't go slower. Hey, you can't go in reverse, but you can take right turns and left turns. And that's kind of what he's kind of thinking from his other stuff. Sorry, so not necessarily this yet. Okay, now when he wrote Ubik, he's saying constructed a world or universe which differed from ours in only one respect: it lacked the driving force forward of time. Seeing the logos. Oh. Okay, this is a letter. One of the things he says in an interview got me going is he described almost perfectly the, I guess you could say, realm when you're on an ayahuasca trip. And he as far as I know, he never took ayahuasca. He's only taken those two acid trips, LSD trips, and only one of them worked, but it was not a good one. And then after that, he was able to have experiences, and those experiences are just mind-boggling. It's like, you know, if I never had those ayahuasca experiences, and I watched that interview that Philip K. Dick had, I would just be, man, he's pretty descriptive on these consciousness experiences. And I wouldn't think anything of it. I was going, oh, that'd be kind of cool. And then now that I have had those ayahuasca experiences, and then he talks about it, and he's never had the ayahuasca experiences, and he describes in almost perfect detail what exactly it was like to be in that realm or universe, whatever you want to call it. Then I know I have to read more Philip K. Dick work. See how interesting these coincidences work? And and the more I look into the details, it's like first things I'm looking at is, did he take ayahuasca? What type of stuff did he have? No, it's not none of that stuff, just LSD. And most of his stuff isn't referencing his LSD experience. It's referencing his other stuff. So very weird. High weirdness. Is that what one of the editors said? He's kind of describing this experience right now, and yeah. So what this tells me, I mean, not actually the details of what he's writing now, but as far as just kind of post-processing it, you can enter this state outside of, it's kind of like my waking dream, but my waking dreams would never really, it would be like a snippet of that experience. Like, imagine watching a movie, right? And that's the ayahuasca experience. Just one ayahuasca experience. I mean, they're all kind of going to be the same in some ways. And now you're out of that ayahuasca experience, and you get a glimpse of like a revelation type of thing. You're in that state of consciousness because you can remember it, unlike a dream where once you're out of it, you can't remember your dream at all. But the waking dream, or whatever it is that I call it, you remember it. It's like you were having that ayahuasca experience where it feels like a dream in some ways because it's just so weird. But you remember it, and that waking dream moment is like a 5-second clip of that movie. So it's like, how am I supposed to figure anything out with just 5 seconds of a movie? It's like you can't figure anything out. And so how do I have more of these waking dreams? What is it that I need to do? And I think maybe Philip K. Dick kind of was able to have them regularly, or I know some other people probably are able to as well. What is it that they're doing, and does it help for anything? I mean, for me, from the ayahuasca experience, getting all that stuff doesn't really help. That's not the main focus. It's like you finish watching a movie, and the movie has, there's a reason for the movie. It's like, what was the point of that story? Oh, you should, let's take Rocky, for example. You want to go the distance. It's not really about winning. It's about how far can you go when not just boxing related, but analogous to it as far as life, when life keeps putting you down. How far can you keep going, even with life throwing all its punches at you. You know, as much suffering as you give out, how long can you keep going? And there's no winners or losers. It's just how long can you go? As hard as you can. So in that same sense, the ayahuasca trip isn't about the trip, but at the lesson that you learn from it and how it applies, and if you're willing to apply it to your life. You could say it's very similar to a story or a book or a movie. I've read this before. This somewhere on the internet, but not from this. The tune in, tune out. Yeah, it's like a tuning fork or something like that. But we all tune in terms of technology and stuff like that. I feel as though, I don't know if it's just a feeling, but some thoughts I've had, but things were like, you know how our mouths, our vocal cords, are like transmitters, right? Because of the vibrations that's produced in the air, whatever scientific term you want to call it, and then our ears are like the receivers. You know, it's just receiving everything that's being bombarded with vibrations in the air, creating sound or noise, whatever you want to call it. Well, if psychedelics now can tune us to a different frequency where our senses are still there, but there's something that we can perceive that we don't attribute to our material senses. That means our body is able to tune into those types of, I hate to say, but yeah, like frequencies, whatever you want to call it. And we just don't know how to do that. We just don't. Maybe it was at some point a way to do that, but psychedelics is able to tune you into it automatically, right? It's like writing a software program to automatically tune to a station that doesn't have a lot of noise. You know that track button on if you still people still listen to the radio. You can tune the frequency by a tenth. Adjust it manually to finally get it in right. But that takes a little bit of time because you just adjust it. Sometimes you have to memorize. It's 99.9, 101.5, whatever. Well, excuse me. Sorry. Either I gotten sick again or something. But anyways, there's this track button where it's basically searching for something that's not going to have a lot of noise it's just a small program in there that understands that. And so when you're hitting the track button, it's basically skipping all that noise, going to the next station that's pretty similar. So that's what it's like having a psychedelic. It's tracking you. You're on the fast track to the tune that it's pre-programmed to, either pre-programmed or skips all that noise to put you in exactly where you need to be in order to receive the transmission, whatever it is. So, now that I'm thinking of this logically, yeah, if that program can get us there pretty quick, that means we can get there manually. Just manually takes longer. But we also need to, how do we tune our frequencies? How do we adjust? Because it's not like a physical thing. As far as we know, it's not a physical thing. But it definitely has to do with our body, because the chemicals are able to get us to that point. But if we didn't have the chemicals, the analogy would be like the readout, the display doesn't, like, you know how when you adjust the radio on whatever and you see the numbers? Well, imagine you don't see the numbers. So you don't know what station you're at. The only way you could tell is if you're on a station and you kind of understand the station and they tell you what station it is. So it's kind of like maybe you have to, it's like a retracing of steps, I guess you would say, right? If I ever have any of those waking dreams again, whatever, those 5 snippets of a movie where I can't, it's like I'm trying to figure it out. It's like, yeah, Ebon, you're not going to figure out 5 seconds of a movie and understand the movie. You just won't. You're going to need to get more information, get more of those snippets. You know, it's like watching, trying to figure out an entire movie by watching those, sometimes those movie preview trailers will have 10 clips. So you play each of those 10 clips. They may amount to like 5 minutes of the entire movie. Yeah, it's just like watching one of those clips and going, yeah, I figured out the movie. No. So I think that's kind of what he's talking about as well, which is very like thinking of this stuff, like for me, as far as like if I was seeing myself now, what I was doing now, just say 2 or 3 years ago, I'll go, what happened? Why am I like that? Do I want to be like that? But seems reasonable if I just listen to Ebon in the Future's words. It's like, yeah, he kind of understands he's crazy. He kind of sees how he got here and is okay with that. It's like, man, this Ebon in the Future is okay with that. Am I gonna be okay with that? Do I think that's okay now? I don't know. Maybe there's a reason for the Ebon Future to be okay with it or something. So I guess I'm okay with it. Who knows? I don't know. And now imagine, maybe it was like, just expand upon that. Maybe it wasn't 5 seconds of just a movie. Maybe it was 5 seconds of a trilogy. Hey, maybe it was 5 seconds of an entire life of a character from that movie or trilogy. Or maybe it was just one of the ancestors of that person. You know how it just kind of expands, like, and why that? Why like, I don't think, like, as far as from, excuse me, as far as Philip K. Dick's experience and my ayahuasca experience and the, yeah, let's just say that. It's not like we tuned in and they had a pre-programmed event for Ebon. It's like, imagine, okay, like I'm going to give, well, I'm not crazy, Kathy. I know I'm not. I'm just saying people assume that because the situation is crazy. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's a crazy situation, crazy coincidences, whatever you want to call it, that lead up to these things. But I don't believe in, like, accidents aren't accidents just because it's an accident. There's some reason behind it. And, you just have to backtrack well enough. Where was I going with it before? Maybe I wanted to segue, just like how I met my wife and how I had my kids. If I trace that back just to how we met, and of course before that, who I was with before, and all this other stuff that led up to it, with those actions where, I went out to a bar to watch a Lakers game with Kobe Bryant in it, because we didn't have a TV anymore because the roommate with the TV moved out. So went out to go watch the Lakers game. Plus, we not only did we not have a TV, we also didn't have I don't think we had. No, we would still have cable, but anyways, just didn't have the TV. So went out. And if you're in Boston and the Boston Celtics didn't make the playoffs, and you go into bars during Red Sox baseball season to tune that TV to a Lakers game, just like I did, yeah, they're going to say no. I think I walked into like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It was a lot of bars. Sports bars, or bars that also had sports playing on it, and they go, sorry, we're leaving it at the Red Sox game. Nope, Red Sox game. Or they'll go, Lakers. You live in Boston, excuse me. And so, yeah, eventually I found that one bar that tuned into the Lakers playoff game. The other TV had the Red Sox game. The other TV, I don't know what was playing. And I go, hey, since you guys aren't playing a Red Sox game, can you put it on? This time I didn't say Lakers. Can you put it on a playoff basketball game? And they did. And I also learned that, not to say Lakers in Boston, of course. And so since they changed that station, I stayed there to eat my dinner with my drink, just so I could stay and keep watching. And then came some dance night, and that's where my current wife was taking lessons with her friends. She's like, I don't know about that. I don't know anything about this type of dancing. So she went out with her friends. We met, we danced, we talked a bit. I got her number. Rest is history. All because Kobe Bryant was having a crazy year, taking his team to the playoffs without almost any help. The TV we didn't have because the roommate left. I had to go find a bar out of all those bars that would change a game, change the TV channel to a Lakers playoff game in Boston. And it just happens that night that the dance thing that was occurring with my current wife was there. And I decided, well, because I took lessons before, I was confident enough to dance, right? And I also had a couple beers. So it was like, let's see if I remember my dancing pretty well. So I don't think I did very well with the dancing, but it was enough to get her number. Yeah, right. So all those, if I think about it, all those things was just coincidence, synchronicity, Kathy. Yeah, or Bob. So a lot of that stuff happens, and it's like, why does it happen like that? I mean, It doesn't make any sense sometimes. Okay. So I don't. Anyways, what I was saying before, it's not like a video cassette tape or DVD, Blu-ray, whatever. You know, like say I'm gonna leave a video of just a one-on-one conversation to my kids, because say I know I'm gonna die because if I have cancer or something, it's terminal, I got 1 month to live, I'm gonna be making a lot of personal videos to my son and daughter for like their birthdays, you know, or whatever. It's like, you know, maybe some life lessons I can pass on to them or something like that, right? That's gonna be pre-packaged. It's not gonna adjust. So whenever they play that video for that particular birthday, whatever, it's going to be something that I already did. I can't, like, it's not like a Man of Steel, you know, how his Superman's father, you know, is able to integrate with him and converse with him. You know, at least we don't have that technology yet. So these trips, psychedelic trips, aren't packaged trips for, hey, if Ebon takes this psychedelic, play this video when he's on it, and just go through that loop. No. It's like, hello, this is a very interactive thing. Whatever. I don't know. It'd be more like, say I'm dead, and you can visit me if you drink water in a copper cup with Hubba Bubba bubble gum. Now, if that happens, you're able to come and visit me in my corner of the world where I'm dead, and we get to have a conversation. It's like you're actually visiting me, right? It's like, it's not like it's not like I got a tape for you. It's like, if I'm dead and like Kathy drinks the water in a copper mug and is chewing Hubba Bubba bubble gum, it's not like, I've got just the thing for Kathy B. No. She's coming and she's talking to me, and I'm trying to tell her as much stuff as I can from where I'm at, and just kind of, I get to see things from Kathy, but a lot of that stuff I don't care. I'm just trying to help her. So I'm just focusing on that because I know time is short for her. So it's like that, right? That's what it is. And I can understand when Philip K. Dick says, kind of relates it to as like Valis or whatever. And it's kind of also talking about based on certain things, just coincidences and randomness and stuff like that. Yeah, they realized, not just him realizing that the novels he wrote we were living in, that others who were reading it are just like, hey, we're living in one of his novels, kind of thing. And he's kind of like creative entity outside his consciousness, his conscious personality to write what he had. And he goes, so it's his subconscious that came up with it, or unconscious. So, like, what is the unconscious then? So he's saying, like, he pretty much, there's no doubt that he did not write his novels. They came from part of him. like, yeah, kind of cool stuff. But look, I think I'm gonna end it there because my digestive juices are not meshing well. I got a lot more burping to do and other stuff. Probably too much detail about it. All right. It's an hour 22 minutes, almost an hour and a half. We're on page 38. I think I may do like a part 2A, the published work, because look, we were only 38 pages out of 1137. But what I am gonna do from here is look, because some of the stuff feels like I've read it already, so I might have. Maybe it actually was from Zebropedia, but anyways, some of it also is actually like the letters and stuff I may have read online from, not from Zebropedia, but somewhere it was published. But thank you. I am going to sign off now, and I'll see you guys later. Good night.